Hey, it's the Rick Joyner Experience on YouTube. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell as well, because we give you exclusive behind the scene, backstage, in the green room content with your favorite artists, and sometimes we make it to the part.
Yes.
So make sure you subscribe, and I'm so glad to finally be able to sit down with my friend and my colleague. She is an incredible artist, ladies and gentlemen. Reagan Whiteside.
Yeah.
How you
Hey,
doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am incredible. So good to see you again.
You too.
Glad you could make it out to Dogwood Festival as well.
Oh, yeah. It's
You see,
beautiful.
we are repping our station,
Yep.
Jazz
CLK
91.9
all day.
WCOK. She does a show called Saturdays with Reagan Whiteside. I host Serenade to the City. And we're creating this space on YouTube to give people an intimate inside look into the lives and the background of the jazz artists. So let's talk about Reagan. Let's go way back. Let's go back to money yearning Mount Vernon,
Yes.
where you were from.
Yeah, I grew up in Mount Vernon, New York,
Okay.
and I stayed there until we moved to Atlanta for the most part.
Okay.
And I went through the Mount Vernon schools, and that's where I learned flute.
Okay. So, what was your first musical exposure as a child? Was it in the house?
Ooh, it was definitely in the house.
Okay, tell us
You know,
about
my
that.
parents had very eclectic. I mean, are.
They're still with us, yeah.
Still with us. But you know, they were very eclectic in their musical tastes.
Okay.
And so in my house, it was everything from Johnny Mathis to Rick James.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
And
very
everything
diverse.
in between. Yes.
Yeah,
A lot of
okay.
Earth, Wind and Fire, you know, and even some. I mean, I can't even. It's
Just
wide.
music
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's music all
And
over the
it
place.
just spanned the whole gamut.
Yes.
Wow.
And my dad's brother, Kenny Whiteside, was a singer and a drummer.
Okay.
And he was in a doo-wop group called the Cleftones.
Okay.
And so I grew up watching him, and he had a drum set, and so whenever we went to his house, you know, of course, he would swap out the drumsticks for the brushes.
Okay.
But
so it's not so loud.
yeah. So, you know, music was always part of my experience. And so when we moved to Mount Vernon from the Bronx, there was a parade that went through the town with all of the elementary school bands and
Okay.
high school and stuff like this. And I was enamored with this parade. I needed to be in this parade. So
And how old were you then?
I was about 7.
Okay.
Yes, and 7 or 8. And but at the time, I was playing violin.
Right.
And so they were like, nah, you can't march in the parade with a violin. so I said, okay, fine, bet. You know, so 4th grade comes around, and I'm ready, right? And so I said, okay, I want to play drums. Band teacher says, well, we don't have a whole lot of drums, and all the boys want to play the drums, so pick something else. I said, okay, I want to play the trumpet. Now we're out of trumpets. And I said, okay, you know what do you have left?
Yeah.
And he said, we have a flute and a clarinet. And I rolled my eyes really hard.
This is how you ended up playing flute.
Yes, I didn't want to play the flute.
Okay.
And I said, but you know what? It was shinier than the clarinet. So, and I said, all right, you know, let's go there. And it took me like a week to get a sound out of this thing.
Okay.
And but once I did, I started to like it, and
Okay.
I started getting good at it. And my parents didn't make me practice. I just did it on my own.
Because you like to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it just kind of went on from there.
And then into classical training.
Yes.
Talk about
Another
that.
thing I didn't want to do. So I was up to that point. I was playing like a lot of pop music, and my very first recital, I played "Can You Read My Mind" from the theme from Superman.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay, great. You know, it seems like you're going to stick with this. Let's get you some private lessons. Okay, bet. So I get in there and I said, okay, I want to play jazz. And my teacher said, no. Get your foundation in classical music, and then you can play jazz later. Roll my eyes hard again. But I started playing classical music and I started to like it and I started
Okay.
getting good at it.
Okay.
I even started to compose classical pieces and duets and stuff like that. And it really, I started winning competitions and stuff like that. And I said, okay, you know what? I think this is what I want to do. You know, maybe play in an orchestra or be a classical soloist or something like that. And so I kept going doing it and took all the auditions and ended up going to a conservatory.
And now, but you're from New York.
Yeah.
Okay. And eventually, and all of that created what I believe a great foundation for you musically as an artist. Because
Oh, yeah.
then you started to branch out a little bit. Once you got into jazz, then you started to branch out and find your own place.
Yes.
And your own style.
Yeah.
And here you are now. I really got to mention this because the stories, a lot of the stories that I get from artists, are sometimes very similar. And the fact that you worked in tech as a software developer for 20 years.
Yes.
Okay, there's other artists that have done this. Ken Ford was one of them. But I was like, wow. So you took the jump and left corporate America, left the tech industry, and you aptly entitled the album "Stepping Out," right?
Yes. Yes, I did.
So how was it transition for you?
I don't know. I think I'm ready to step back in, honestly. But you know, I made a plan. I saved up money, and I went for it. And you know, sometimes I feel like, oh yeah, you know, this is working. I'm doing it. Yeah, yeah. And other times it's like, what was I thinking? Oh my God. So. You know, but right now, so far, you know, I'm just kind of riding it, you know, and there's a lot of changes. You know, when I left corporate America, health insurance wasn't, you know, $1 billion a month.
Right.
So, you know, and so over the years, as things change, it's like, okay, well, I'm not the type of person that's going to just sit and let the grass grow under my feet and talk about who moved my cheese. So, you know, it's all about, you know, I've left I don't think I've ever really truly left the tech industry because as an artist, you still have to have your foot in that whole thing.
And not only do you still have your foot in it, but you created a whole library of flute stuff for artists to be able to use. Tell us about that.
So it's a flute library.
It's flute
It's
library.
a flute sample library. And there was a big gap in software, and even just whether it's a module or a keyboard or whatever, every time I hear these fake keyboard flutes, it would just make my skin crawl.
Yeah.
And then, or whatever would pass for a flute sound. Oh yeah, that's a flute. No.
That's a program.
Yes,
thing. Yeah.
no. You must have been absent that day in school. But so we went into the studio and just recorded a bunch of, I guess, flute licks that you can string together to make whatever, or you know, just some like a little sample that you can drop into a rap song, you know, whatever, and did a whole library of different genres.
Wow.
You know, from Latin to rock to hip hop, jazz, classical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if there are artists that are listening and they want to access some of this, how can they get it?
Oh, you can go to my website, reganwhiteside.com.
Okay.
And click on Flute Sample Library. It's right there in the menu there.
Very good. Well, you're a busy lady, whether you're working in the tech industry or not, because you're your wife, you're a mom, and you are a highly celebrated jazz. Is it flautist or flutist?
Both are correct.
Both are correct.
Both
okay.
are correct.
Okay, I'm glad I finally cleared that up because
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yeah, but even in the flute community, they're like, I don't play a flout. So it's like, yes, you do, technically. But yes, I'm a flute player.
Yeah. Well, you have made the flute very, very cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, because there's not many people out there that even, you know, Najee plays sax and sometimes he'll play a flute.
He's very good at it.
And
too.
he is very
Yes.
good at it. Even Kirk Whalum, he's every now and then he'll pick up a flute.
Yep.
But his main thing is the sax.
Sax,
So do
he
you
killed
play
it.
sax as well or no?
I can, but I don't.
Okay.
Because I don't want to mess up my embouchure.
Okay. Yeah, that.
Yes.
What she said. So how can people connect with you on social media?
Oh, on Facebook, Reagan Whiteside Music, and Instagram at Reagan Whiteside, and I've even got my TikTok going.
You got a
Oh
TikTok?
my goodness, I have 3 whole posts up there. So,
I know now. If you got a TikTok, I gotta get a TikTok.
yeah, you know
page
what
now.
though, I'm still not great at it. You
Okay.
know, I'm working on it.
Okay.
It's a work in progress, but
Well,
it's there.
let your kids help you. I'm sure they're
yeah.
experts.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, in their sleep. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Reagan Whiteside. Baby, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank
for a few
you.
minutes. Love you.
Love you
Good
too.
to see you.
Thank
Tell
you.
Dennis we said hello.
Will do.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell here on the Rick Joyner Experience page on YouTube so that you can get notified every time we have an exclusive interview with your favorite artist like Reagan Whiteside. All right? We'll see you next time. Peace.